All right, so looking at 7.1, so this is lesson 7 of Unit 4 from Open Up Resource. We're just going to be looking at some percents over 100 using a double number line to help us kind of find the answers here. So there's going to be a couple ways to solve. I'll go through a couple different ones. So looking at this first one, a couple things that you notice. So you multiply by 10 to get the percent, right? 5 times 10 is 50%. 10 times 10 is 100, and so forth. 10 cups equals 100%. So the cups are increasing by 5, and then percents are increasing by 50. So those are just some things. You might notice a few other things, but these are a couple that stood out. Okay, so how we use these double number lines. So here it says for each problem, complete the double number line diagram to show the percentage that corresponds to the original amount and to the new amount. So it says a gas tank in Dad's car holds 12 gallons. The tank in Mom's car holds 50% more. How much gas does the truck's tank hold? So 100% was what Dad had in his car. So that was 12 gallons. Well, 12 gallons, 50% is just half of 12, so that'd be 6. So if we go 6 this way, if we remove 6 this way to get 6, we're going to add 6 the other way to show increase. So 12 plus 6 is 18. Okay, so this one, pretty easy because how it's broken up into percents at the bottom. You could have set this up and said, well, 12 over, or x over 12 is equal to 150 over 100. So this is using the proportional reasoning for percents, right? 12 is the whole amount, 150 is the percent over 100, and then x is what we're finding. When you do this, you get 100x equals 1,500, 600, 700, 800. So that'd be 1,800. You can divide by 100, and you get x equals 18. Okay. This one, though, by looking at it, was pretty easy to just be like, okay, yes, it should be this much. All right. So the next one. So once again, use cross product here. It says at a movie theater, the size of popcorn decreases by 20%. If the old bag held 15 cups of popcorn, how much does the new bag hold? So once again, we know 100% was the original amount, so 15. So that goes over 100. So now that we know that, we can set up our cross product. So we're trying to find the new amount, which would be x. 15 was the original, and it's a 20% decrease, meaning that it's 80% of the original amount. So the percent goes up top, 80 over 100. Now, if you put 20 up here, that's fine. You just have to note that whatever your answer is for x here, you're going to take away from the original amount, 15. Okay, so by doing that, you find that x is 12. Another way is, if we know that 100% is 15, we can find what each tick mark represents by counting the number of tick marks up to 15. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at 15. So we take 15 divided by 5, and those tick marks have to go in three increments, right? So 3 cup increments. So if you did it that way, you could have just taken 15 minus 3 to get 12. So then the percent, or it would be 12 cups would be your answer. Okay, next one. So it says a school had 1,200 students last year and only 1,080 students this year. What was the percentage decrease in the number of students? So now we know our partial amount, our whole amount. We're solving for the percent. So you set up your cross product. And when you do that, you find that x does equal 90%. So you have 90% of students from last year, which it becomes a 10% decrease. Okay, next one. 1 week, gas was $1.25 per gallon. The next week, gas was $1.50 per gallon. By what percentage did the price increase? So once again, set up our cross product. our new amount is 1.5, old amount or original amount was 1.25. That's equal to x over 100. You take your cross product, and you see that 150 is equal to 1.25x. And when you divide by 1.25x, that's going to equal 120. So 120%. So the percent increase is what the percent is over 100. Well, 100 minus, or 120 minus 100 gives you 20%. So it was a 20% increase. Okay, next one, it says after a 25% discount, the price of a t-shirt was $12. What was the price before the discount? Okay, so it's the t-shirt is $12 after the 25% discount. So that 12 represents our 75% here. Okay, so we can set this up with cross product. 12 is our part because that's the 75%. Over x, we're trying to find the actual amount. So cross product, when you do that, you get 16. Once again, if you did 25, your answer would have been 4. And we just note that then you'd have to add 4 to 12 to get your original amount. So the price of the t-shirt was $16. Okay, there were a couple other ways. If you know 75% of the original is 12, to undo multiplication, you can divide. So that's what this is showing right here. Okay, you could take your price and divide by the percent, and that would give you your x. Okay, last one of these double number lines. So this one, it says, compared to last year, the population of Boomtown has increased 25%. The population is now 6,600. What was the population last year? So we set up, we know that 6,600 is a 25% increase. Therefore, it's 125% of what was there last year. So with that, I set up my cross product. 6,600 over x is equal to 125 over 100. Once again, if you would have put 25 in there, you would have gotten the amount that it increases by. So you just subtract that from the 6,600. But when you take your cross product, you get that equal to 125, so 660,000 equals 125x. Divide by 125, and you get your answer right here. X equals 5,280. Another way you could have done this, excuse me. Once again, 66 is equal to 1.25% of the original. So to undo the multiplication, you divide. So you divide 66 by 1.25, and once again, you get the same answer here. Okay, and then one last way. Once again, you could have counted the tick marks up to 66. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth one right here being 6,600. You take that, divide by 5, and that gives you the amount that you're going to decrease by. So you subtract that from 6,600, and you'd get 5,280. So 3 ways to do it. If you're used to this way, just stick with cross product. It works fairly quickly. All right, 7.3. So it just says a juice box has 20% more juice in the new packaging. The original packaging held 12 fluid ounces. How much juice does the new packaging hold? So it wants us to determine which student wrote the correct one. So Priya did this one right here, and then Carly did this one right here. So first, right off the bat, 12 is the full amount, the 100%, and you notice right here, 12 is under the 100 or is above the 100%. So that should tip you off that Priya is correct here. Okay, and then to find the actual amount, so it's 120% because a 20% increase, so that'd be 1.2 times 12 to get your 14.5. Okay, and so that's how you can double check that that is correct. Whoops. Sorry. Okay, so I agree that it is Priya. Okay, it says Claire's diagram could represent a percent decrease. Describe a situation that could be represented with Claire's diagram. So if it was a decrease of 20% and the original amount was 15, then yes, that would work. That would be correct. Because then 20% of 15 would be 3, and so 15 minus 3 is 12. Okay, and the last two here, protecting the green sea turtle. You can read through what it's talking about here. I'm going to go right to the two questions. So the first one says, one sanctuary had 180 green sea turtles come ashore to lay eggs last year. This year, the number of turtles increased by 10%. How many turtles came ashore to lay eggs in the sanctuary this year? So here's an increase of 110%. So we're going to take our original amount, the 180, times our 110%. Before we do that, we have to convert our percent into a decimal, which is just dividing it by 100 or moving the decimal over 2 to the left. So 110% becomes 1.10. We times that by 180 and we get 198 turtles. So that's how many came this second year. Okay, likewise, the second one says at another sanctuary, the number of nesting turtles decreased by 10%. This year they were 234 nesting turtles. How many nesting turtles were there at this sanctuary last year? So now this year we're kind of working backwards, so I'm using cross product. I know my part is 234, and that is equal to 90% because a decrease of 10% means it was 90% of last year's amount. So 234 over x is equal to 90 over 100. Take your cross products, you get 90x equals 23,400. And then last step is to divide by 90. And when you do that, you get 260. So there were 260 turtles the previous year. Okay, and then the last is just the exit ticket. But I'll go over it here real quick. So it says the company claims that the new bottle holds 25% more laundry soap. If their original container held 53 fluid ounces of soap, how much does the new container hold? So it's going to be 120% of the original because it's a 25% increase. So we convert the percent of 125 into decimal form, which is 1.25. And now all we got to do is times that by 53. And that will give us our new amount. So 125% of 53 would be 66.25 ounces. All right, so that's using number lines and then just once again kind of looking at how do we deal with percents of a number that are over 100.